Han slowly opened his eyes, his heart full of grief from the words he heard. The sound still rang in his mind, listening to Eric beating Hyun, the wet thudding sound as his fist landed on her body. During such an event, she didn't attempt to call out for help. Han had wondered if such a thing were due to her not believing help would come or due to her own resilience. Numerous times, Han wanted to spring up out of his chair and call out to her. He would have beaten and tortured Eric, letting everyone know his pain and rage. When Hyun had pricked him with the poison, Han had feared his own demise while also saddened to face another betrayal. Feeling the poison flow through his body, Han had wanted to embrace his death. No longer would he have to worry about struggling. Even with all of his powers, wondering whether the feelings of others being genuine weighed heavily on him. Life was something that couldn't be appreciated in isolation. This was why he was grateful for the artificial love and care from his creations. They gave him something to cling on to when life was drowning him. A screen appeared in his mind, asking, "Do you wish the sleeping poison to be eliminated?" with the options of yes and no being available. Looking at the screen in his mind, Han understood two things. The system would protect him from instant attacks he didn't anticipate, and Ha-Yun hadn't betrayed him. What he thought to be poison in order to kill him was actually only meant to incapacitate him. While bringing him joy, it also saddened him because it meant she was afraid he would be unable to stand against Eric. Selecting yes, Han felt the poison leave his system. Wanting to see how things went if all parties thought he was out of play, Han imagined a solution. Simulate the effects of the sleeping poison? Yes or no? Another screen appeared in his mind. If the system could sense his will and able to act on reality, then Han thought it would be able to make his body look like it was poisoned. It was an enjoyable experience, feeling the effects while being detached from the negative sensation. Han felt his body lose control as the simulated poison took hold of him. The way his knees hit the ground and stayed like that before falling forward made him think that an acting award should be given to him. No actor could do such realistic performance as he had. Ending the simulation, he immediately felt himself regain control over his body. The feeling of death being lifted let him know that everything was good. Grabbing the leather restraints, he snapped them with ease. Standing up, he looked around the room. Seeing the form of Ha-Yun laying there, Han asked, "What is your opinion?" Like a mirage, the air shimmered, revealing Anaklis and Eurasia. They didn't appear startled that Han had noticed their presence. "Master, I am sure that you already know what we thought of this woman." Seeing Han nod his head, she continued, "We had initially believed her loyalties and feelings were not genuine, which made us hostile towards her." Anaklis looked at Ha-Yun, and her expression softened. "But I believe what we saw today demonstrated her resolve to Master. Though she was being beaten, she kept her gaze on Master. Even as she was dying, her thought was what drove her to move closer to you." "Her words moved me," Eurasia said quietly as she stared at Ha-Yun. "Master," Anaklis began to say before Han interrupted her. "Not wanting to step into the realm beyond the dead is something I believe firmly in. There are two main struggles in life, so I always felt it selfish of heroes to resurrecting loved ones." Han's words were quiet. "Though I hope that she is happy where she is, this does not help to quell this feeling in my chest. My thoughts are likely similar to hers, where we hope that a small painful experience would allow the other to be free from all the suffering." He stood in front of Ha-Yun, his expression grim. I hope you are not resentful of my selfishness. Leaning forward, Han reached out with one of his hands and touched the side of Hyun's face. Wake up, my love. You have been asleep for far too long, and it is time for you to return. Everything around them seemed to stop as the world became silent. Nature appeared to be calm around them, neither happy or sad from such an act occurring. Hyun's body began to glow and dimmed, followed by the sound of her gentle breathing. Like someone being awakened after a sound night of sleep, her eyes opened and she looked up to see Han. I now know that there is nothing to fear from death if I am able to see someone I love. Though you may not believe me, I did not want to poison you. I knew that you would be in danger, so I only did what was necessary to protect you. If only I could tell you this while I was still alive. Ha-Yun's expression became sorrowful, as she regretted not being able to convey her feelings to him. There's nothing to apologize for. I already knew that you only meant to protect me, though such acts were unnecessary. Protecting you and myself is well within my powers, he soothingly said to her. Tears trailed down her face as she listened to Han's words. Ha-Yun's smile was wide as she happily nodded her head. Even though I will never see you alive again, I am happy to hear you say that. What do you mean you will never see me alive? Are you planning on going somewhere? Han teased her. Ha-Yun looked confused as she didn't understand what Han was saying. He leaned forward and gave her a deep kiss, infusing it with all the love and happiness he could put into such an act of love. Though she was shocked at first, her body relaxed as she embraced him and returned his feelings back to him. When he pulled away, Ha-Yun's eyes were wide open as she finally understood what had happened. How? Was all that she could ask, the very idea being something impossible in her mind. He watched as one of her hands reached down to where the knife had penetrated her body and tried to find the object which ended her life. As her hand fumbled around the area, she looked down and saw that she was whole and the knife was gone. She looked back at him, eyes full of wonder and questions. He placed a finger on her lips as she was about to ask him a string of questions. There is something I wish to show you before I answer any questions. Standing, Han reached out a hand towards Ha-Yun. Will you join me and come home? Seeing the outstretched hand, Ha-Yun lovingly smiled and took hold of it and was lifted to her feet. The room around them shimmered and changed to his throne room.